Hey guys, Rusty here at Ugly HP. Today we're working on an '07 Dodge caliper. We are doing the wheel speed sensor and the wheel bearing, but the way we're gonna do this wheel bearing is we're not gonna use a press. Kind of show you do-it-yourselfers how to do it without messing it up, since the reluctor ring is built into the wheel bearing. So to start out, we need to get the wheel speed sensor unplugged. Back here behind the ABS module, this is on the passenger side. Way down here you have your plug. I already unplugged it. That will be going into the strut tower. That's your wheel speed sensor. Get that unplugged and then move on to your next step, which will be removing the caliper and rotor, and then we're going to put this thing up in there and show you how to yank out the rest of the stuff. Okay, so with the caliper, rotor, and pads off, we went ahead and pulled the wheel speed sensor out of the hole out here. There's going to be a bolt behind here, 13 millimeter, and then two right here. You want to get both of those off 13 millimeter. This way your brake line has slack for when we're pulling the axle out without taking everything out. So we're going to pull those out first. We're popping this guy up out of here. Have to just take a 1/4-inch drill bit and drill the tab out. It'll come with a new one and stuff. Now, if you're wanting to just replace the wheel speed sensor, it's a 10 millimeter. And then you're gonna undo some light for you. You're gonna undo that 10 millimeter bolt, and then you're gonna twist it from side to side right here while you work it out. Most of the time it's just gonna break anyways, so that's why we're just if you're just changing the wheel bearing, you can leave that in, but we're changing both. There's issues with it, so we're changing the sensor and the bearing because the bearing's making noise. The sensor's not sending a signal. Catch-22, so we're just going to do them both. Next, 21 millimeter both sides. Let me get my air. I'll block that out. Okay, now we're going to beat these two guys out. Next, I'm going to get my steering. That's an 18. this out of the way just a hair so we can get under the boot. Under it. Jesus. Definitely would have been beating on that one for a while. Okay, so now we're gonna pull this front nut out, 32 millimeter. Get our axle out. If you thread a nut on the front of the axle to where it's even and then hit it with a hammer, you can prevent from mushrooming it if you don't have an air hammer to do that. Now we're going to take this one out, which should be an 18. So our next option is to take a punch, beat that down while we're holding up on this, or the way I'm going to do it is I got an air hammer with the pickle on it, and I can punch that bottom off. Or if you just have a regular wide pickle fork. Okay, so with the spindle off, I'm gonna try to get that wheel speed sensor out, and then I will take it over there and I'll show you how we're gonna beat this thing out and beat the new one in. Okay, so what we have here is we have some 4x4s holding it up off the ground. You're gonna want to get the steel that's sticking out, and you're gonna bend this plate. You just have to bend it back when you're done. But what we're going to do is we're going to get a punch or seal driving kit, and we're going to first hit the hub through there. So you're going to have to keep on readjusting this because boards are going to want to slide out and stuff, but we'll show you. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it could be a pain in the dick. I mean, ass. So there's our hub. We're going to take our impact gun, our air hammer, we're going to go in at this at an angle and shoot that off that way. I'll have to do that off the camera. But next, we got to pull, there's a snap ring. We're going to pull that snap ring out, and then we're going to hit the rest of the bearing through. And I'll show you another way to do that without the wood and stuff, because this bearing's more of a pain in the ass. Son of a bitch. These are not the correct snap pliers for this, so I'm just trying to do it the way I think I would have had to do it 5 years ago when I was kind of just learning. Plus, on top of that, I normally have help with somebody, but I know some of you guys do it yourself without help. One side's kind of froze up, so knock it loose. Trying not to cuss here. Damn, this thing's pissing me off. Alright, so got the snap ring out. Now we got to get this bearing the rest of the way out. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a rotor this thing will sit in nice and flat, because the hub was the easy part. Beating this son of a bitch out takes a lot more. That bearing's out. Now this has this side right here that's dark colored. That's your sensor side, so when you put the new one in, it's got to go down. Okay, so got our bearing. Want to make sure we put the darker ring in, grease it up. Now, here's where a lot of people mess up. When you drive this thing in there, you got to drive it straight. If you start driving at an angle, you're going to put too much pressure on everything. I've done a lot of these. I've messed up a couple from rushing. Best thing to do is to get an actual race driver that covers the whole thing. and you're going to go slow. You'll feel it bottom out once it hits the bottom. When you hit it, it won't have that give. We just want to keep it straight. We're not wheeling on it. We're just giving it a little tap here and there. We're using the edge of a 4x4. Might have been able to hear it when it hit rock bottom. The grease kind of helps it from getting stuck. You want it to go in there as smooth as possible. So we're going to put our new, not new, but snap ring in. With the wrong snap ring pliers. Go, go, go. Alright, so next is the hub. Let me see. You want to put a race on the bottom and keep the bottom from coming out. If the bottom does come out, don't freak out. Doesn't mean it's bad or anything. Just put the bottom back in. As long as you don't spill all the bearings out everywhere, you can have that lower race come out. Just make sure you're greasing it up so it all slides in. Same process. You want to make sure that thing is as straight as possible for it to go in there, and you're not beating the shit out of it, you're just tapping it. And there you have it, all the way through. No problems back here. As you can see, everything's still in place, didn't lose anything, so you don't need a press to do all this stuff. So now we're going to start the process of putting it back together. Alright guys, so we're going to set our spindle on here. Now you can either put your axle in first, or you set your spindle on there. That bolt's got to go through, when that bolt goes through the spindle, it's got to go through that groove. So we're just going to set it on there. It's easier to do with the axle out first. Sometimes they go, sometimes they don't. This is our 18mm. Our 221mm. Our 18mm. As you can see, the boot is ripped. Once I got this out earlier, I noticed that this was really loose, so the owner does not want to replace it at the time, even though it would have been cheaper just to pay me $25 right then and there. But you can't make everybody happy. They rather pay more, I guess. .32mm. Now we have our new wheel speed sensor. Ooh, I guess I probably should have showed this to you guys first. Which is going to slide in here. 10mm holds it down. we're gonna route our line around and through. I still gotta drill this guy out so this will fit. So you just run your line. Don't forget to re-bolt up your brake caliper line bracket, and go through your hole and plug your speed sensor in. Pump up your brakes when you're done and enjoy the vehicle being fixed. Check us out on Facebook. I know you're still seeing Project Dead Horse sitting there. Brian's going to be involved in finishing it. We got to dig that oil pump rod out of there and redo it again, but we'll show a video on that when we get it done. Check us out on Facebook. Hit the like button, subscribe, send us comments. Like I said, normally we use a press on these, but we wanted to show you that you could do it with a hammer and you don't have to worry about breaking it. And as always, keep on wrenching.